Evcol.
Hey, Liam, did you get rid of that phone in the end?
Took it off him before he went in, yeah.
It's just... he's asking.
Who, Callister?
No, the Prime Minister, you prat.
Well, what's he want to know for? Don't he trust us now?
No, I don't think it's that. It's just... he's getting a bit... jittery, that's all. Still in your slaughter, is it?
The phone?
Yeah. Gutted?
No battery.
But it is still there.
Yeah, of course. Why the ag?
It's just... I have a feeling we're going to need a little insurance policy on friend Callister. If this malarkey comes on top.
Oh, that don't sound unreasonable.
He might be happy to sink with it, I ain't. He's cools. Do you think you could bring it round my drum in the morning? I think the insurance needs to be properly cared for, if you know what I mean. Not languishing in your slaughter like...
So what's old Mona Minute getting jittery about now?
Well, they found a stiff, haven't they?
What, Appleby? Appleton?
Yeah.
I thought that couldn't happen.
Apparently that Burke Deeks chucked it in the wrong side of the sodding weir. Some face, McHugh, as in Paul, Callister says, has been put on it.
Any danger of Callister getting him to chuck...
It's an
Getting to chuck it?
Not enough money in the world, apparently. Straight as a die.
Or getting Callister to chuck this McHugh sort?
Don't even think such a wicked thought, Liam. It'll be us have to do the chucking. Straight into the long arms of the law and into the shovel, the way my luck's been running lately.
Oh, good job we saw to that streak of piss Deeks then, innit? Nefarious by Richard Bates. Part 2. Morning all. I hope you're all feeling rested, because we got another day of it today. Now we have a positive ID, we can finally proceed like a normal murder investigation. Right, Aid, can you finish going through DS Appleton's recent caseload? We need to eliminate anyone from his recent cases who might have had a grudge. ASAP.
Sarge, from what I've seen, he's clean. Completely clean. To the point of being boring. Appleton wasn't vice or serious crimes. He was a grudge with a skipper from a local station.
Still, we need to eliminate them all. Kirsty, can you do his personal life? I know the DCI had a look into his Facebook yesterday and turned up some interesting leads. See what else you can dig up. Address book, emails, phone calls, texts, WhatsApp. We need everything we can get.
She's still not in.
No, ma'am. No, what I mean is she's been and gone again.
Gone where, may I ask?
Kentish Town.
I'd better not find out. She's gone to see that wee Jamie North lassie.
No, ma'am, she's gone to see a DS at Kentish Town, Nick.
What's she pishing about with Kentish Town for? The tube. DS Appleton wasn't found in Kentish Town. He didn't work out of Kentish Town. We have no evidence his murder took place in Kentish Town. And what are yous lot doing?
Background investigation, ma'am. Get to know your victim, get to know your killer, that sort of thing.
Aye, well, you better get on with it then. Tell DCI McHugh to come to my office when she returns. That's ASAP.
Hi, DCI McHugh?
DS Simway?
Yes, ma'am. Nice to meet you. Sorry about the welcome. The squad room is a mess with builders right now. Believe me, it's quieter down here. You'll also want to see where we found Mr. Deacon's body, I expect. So we'll be going straight out again, if that's okay?
That would be really helpful, thank you.
It's not far. You know, when I got the message to call you this morning, I was curious why a DCI from Kingley Street was interested in a suspicious in Kentish Town. If you don't mind me asking, Ma'am.
Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton, DS Simway. Ring a bell?
Please, call me Nick. Yes. He's turned up, has he?
You could say that. We pulled him out of the Bow Lock skiff wrapped in a sports bag, early hours of yesterday morning. Forensics confirmed, it's him.
And what's the connection to Simon Deeks?
Tenuous at the moment, but I think there's more to it than meets the eye. Did you know him, Nick?
Everyone at the station knew Simon.
Regular face and person of interest of this manor, was he?
I mean, never anything serious. Just regular. More often than you'd expect. You know how it is. Normally they come in a few times and then either go down for a stretch or move on to a new patch for a while. He didn't. He just kept coming back. Can't really put my finger on why, but...
Care to elaborate?
I mean, it's nothing concrete. You'll know from the file how he was found.
Yes.
Well, it's just we netted him on a number of busts. Small-time drugs mostly. Bit of possession of Class Bs here, kids on bikes pushing pills there. It was how he earned his living. To start with, we'd bring him in, charge him, he'd draw suspended the first couple of times, then he went down for a year or two.
Doesn't exactly sound out of the ordinary to me. Pusher gets nicked, goes up the steps, goes down the road.
That wasn't. What was that he suddenly stopped.
Stop getting nicked?
No, we'd still bring him in regular as clockwork, but the CPS would chuck it, or someone would be on the phone to the super and we'd be told, drop Simon Deacon out of it, he's not useful to us.
I see.
A few of us had a suspicion he was an informant for someone higher up. Have to be, wouldn't it? Not many can drop a prisoner out of charges these days.
Yes.
This is the spot. That's where it happened. Down there.
Oh, right outside the mouth of that tunnel.
That one.
What a way to go. File said the train cut him in half.
And some. I'll tell you another funny thing. I was at the post-mortem, and the path said because of the traumatic nature of the injuries from the collision, he couldn't be certain, but he thought Simon was dead before the train hit him.
Could he have been electrocuted first?
No, all overhead cables, you see.
I didn't read any of that in the report.
You wouldn't have. It never made it into the report.
Thanks, Nick. You've given me a lot to think about. I best be going. Yes, Ma'am. Yes, Ma'am. Soon as I get back to the office. Yes, I know, Ma'am. What's this? Oh, sorry, Ma'am, not you. Can I call you back? Call me back at King Street, 0207.
Ah, there you are, Gov. Got some news for you.
Yes, thank you, I know. The super wants to see me like 2 hours ago. Sean, can you come with me? We need to talk in my office.
What is it, Gov?
This was left on my car while I was talking to DS Simway at Kentish Town. Here, have a read.
Bloody hell, is this for real?
No reason to believe it's not.
Inspector McHugh. Spelt wrong. Leave Simon Deeks out of it. He's dead and buried. Stick to the slag DS Appleton if you don't want to end up like him and Doolan. It's not signed. Well, of course it's not. Yeah, hang on. As in DS Doolan.
I know no other.
The same DS Doolan who was shot dead outside his front door last October.
While about to go up the steps to the Bailey for rape. Yep, the very same.
Lizzie.
Yes, Ma'am.
I thought I said you were to come straight to my office as soon as you got back from Kentish Town.
Ma'am, you better see this.
Leave Simon Deeks out of it. He's dead and buried. Who's Simon Deeks?
A possible line of inquiry, Ma'am.
Do we know who it's from?
Unless it's from Jamie North. I've no idea.
Oh, woman. Now is not the time to be getting facetious. In case you've forgotten, Steve Doolan was a serving officer about to go on trial for rape. We don't need any more roads leading back to that man, especially as the inquiry into his murder has all but ground to a halt.
Yes, Ma'am.
We do have a bit of good news, though.
Let me guess, Sean. You've won the Irish sweepstakes. Everyone in this station is a comedian suddenly.
No, ma'am. Mark Appleton's phone has come to life again.
I thought it was never recovered.
It wasn't, but I had the number flagged again in case someone tried to use it.
I thought mobile numbers died after 6 months.
Well, usually they do, but in this case, the team at Kennington had the phone company keep it alive so he could make contact if he turned up at some later date.
And when did it come back from the dead?
This morning, 06:52. Phone company called just before 8. You'd already left for Kentish Town. We've triangulated it, and Uniform found it in a dodgy used phone shop on the Whitechapel Road.
For used, red nicked, I suppose. Did we pull in the shopkeeper?
Yeah, Bethnal Green have. Waiting for an interpreter to arrive. Said they'll pass on the phone once they've processed the shopkeeper for handling. Quite common round there, they say.
Tell him it needs to be today. We can't waste time with our thumbs up our backsides while they piss about with charging some poor sod for handling.
Get AC Dixon up to speed on this now. And get the notes over to forensics. Tell them they'll have Dixon on their backsides if they don't pull the fingers out.
Well, they'll know about it if that 5-foot bundle of Rennies and aspirin lands on them. Get Kirsty March to get this over to forensic and tell them we need it. We need the results fast. Shouldn't be any dabs on it apart from mine and whoever sent it. Hi, can you put me through to Assistant Commissioner Dixon's office?
Liam, where's the bloody phone?
I don't know, Andy. I keep saying. Bastards turned over everything.
When they break in?
Early hours.
Oh, I can't believe this is happening. You just had to keep it safe.
Well, how was I to know some pikey was going to turn me over? Today of all days.
All right. We got to keep our cool head. What was this place?
My dad's black cab mechanic shop back in the day, you remember.
And who knows he's still in the family?
No one, really. Few of the other blokes what rent arches, like. Some of them go back to Dad's day. Council, National Rail.
Oh, yeah, of course. British fucking Rail nicked it.
Well, I'm just saying it's got to be pot luck, ain't it? On the part of the villain, like.
It sounds it. You better hope it was. Here. You don't think the old Bill's been down here, do you?
Nah. There's enough people round here to call if they turned up mob-handed. Yeah, does Callister know about it?
No. He thinks we destroyed it at the time. Bottom of Bow Creek or something. But that is all our insurance gone.
We better hope he don't find out it's now out there in God knows whose hands.
Come in. Oh, Lizzie, there you are.
Your secretary said to come straight in, sir.
Yes. I'll be brief. Sue Brennan has been keeping me up to date on the case. She tells me now there may be a link with the Steve Doolan investigation.
Yes, sir. Though I think it's tenuous at this stage. Just the note left on my car, sir.
Are you all right, Lizzie?
It's very warm in here, sir.
I don't need to tell you that the rubber heels are crawling all over the Doolan inquiry. And with the Casey report earlier this year, we need to handle with kid gloves any suggestion that someone is going round bumping off police officers.
Oh, of course, sir. I haven't established a direct link yet, so no need to worry their little heads.
But I'm going to let you run with it. And if you do find a link, you bring it straight to me, OK? And keep it low-key, though.
I would like to work with Kentish Town CID on the murder of one Simon Deacon. I think that is linked.
Simon Deacon?
Yes, he's the other face mentioned in the note left on my car. I think he's the more promising prospect at the moment. Sorry, sir, it's DS Spicer.
Off you go.
Might be some news.
Keep Sue Brennan up to speed.
Sir. Yeah?
Gov, good news and bad news. CCTV on the road in Kentish Town where you parked your car. Netto. Hoodie and face mask job.
And the good news?
Bethnal Green have sent over the phone and has revealed some very interesting recordings.
Recordings?
You know, voice notes.
Not really, but saying what?
Well, it seems he was mounting his own off-the-books obbo.
Was he indeed?
It's looking like he was tailing a couple of villains. One Andrew James Metcalf and a Liam Cochrane.
Never heard of them.
Both have got form, but I'd say Metcalf is the leader of the pack, judging by the length of the rap sheet. Thing is, there's a voice note from the 22nd of December detailing following Metcalf and Cochrane to the pub called The Victory. That's on Viner Street in the Cambridge Heath district of Hackney. Thursday before Christmas is also now the last time anyone saw or heard anything of Mark Appleton. Last recorded entry was 10:15 p.m. about Metcalf and Cochrane.
And by Professor Davidson's timings, we don't think Mark Appleton lived long after making that last recording. Bloody hell. What have we stumbled into here?
Well, it seems he'd been tailing them on and off for weeks. Off duty, mostly. There's hours of voice notes footage. From what I can gather so far, he thought Metcalfe and Cochrane had something to do with the murder of that DS out of Camden.
Doolan! Bloody Doolan! Oh, I was really hoping you weren't going to bring that name up, Sean. The complaints are all over that inquiry like a rash. And you know what happens if we show an interest.
Oh, we come out in hives too, I know.
All right, get the team to dig up as much background as they can from those recordings. And bring in Metcalfe and Cochrane.
Tonight, Gov?
No, let's surprise them and give them a 5 a.m. wake-up call tomorrow morning. Gives us more time to find something in the recordings. Oh, we're going to need detail. Everything we have so far is circumstantial. Their briefs will be screaming so loud we won't be able to make it through the interview. Can you marshal the troops? In the morning I'll be waiting at the Nick. You and Kirsty March go on the arrest with uniform.
Okay, Gov. See you for the big day tomorrow, then.
You've reached Jamie North at the Garden Gate Theatre. Please leave me a message and I'll return your call when I can. Thanks.
Jamie, love, it's Dad. Listen, there's going to be a spot of trouble coming up, so I need you to leave the Garden Gate for now and come down to me and your mum's. I don't want any police officers coming to interview you. Oh, and tell Tony Mulvaney to come down too. I've got a bit of work to put in his direction. Then he must get out of town for a bit. Wherever he wants, really. I'll pay. Call me when you get this, Love you.
We got them. I got Liam Cochrane still asleep in bed at home, and the Sarge got Metcalfe coming out of a pub lock-in round 4:30.
Any bother?
Cochrane came easy. I think the Sarge got a right-hander off Metcalfe, though. He's in custody, booking them.
All right, Kirsty, you and me are going to take Metcalfe. See how the macho man likes having to answer to 2 women. Aid, can you warm up Cochrane for us? I think he's going to be our best bet for a result. Don't give anything concrete, but let him think Metcalfe is singing his song for us.
Yes, Gov.
Keep them apart, so there's no chance they can confer. We want it short. We give nothing away, but we do it by the book. Got that?
Yes, Gov.
Morning, Sean. God, that's a right shiner you've got there. You'll save the Nick a fortune in light bulbs.
Yeah, thanks, Governor.
Metcalfe in that one?
Yes, Gov.
Go and get the quack to look at that eye. All right, Kirsty. Eyes down for a full house. DCI McHugh and DC March entering interview room 1, Kingley Street Police Station. It's 0840 hours, commencing interview with Andrew James Metcalfe. You understand you're still under caution?
Yeah.
And you've waived your right to a solicitor, is that right?
You what?
You don't want a brief?
Nah. Just tell me why I'm here.
As explained when you were arrested, you're here in connection with the murder of Detective Sergeant Mark Appleton.
Who?
See, we found his body earlier this week, and we've got his phone now.
What phone's that in?
DS Appleton's phone. He used it to take all his notes while he was following you and your Dutch Liam Cochrane around.
And why do you think I can help you? I didn't know he was following me, so why would I know what happened to him?
Well, it gives you a pretty good motive to want to get rid of him, I'd say.
Oh, and you can prove I knew, I suppose.
Nuisance copper spoiling business? Course you knew. And I reckon he'd found something on you, and you knew it was a matter of time before he was onto you.
I'm not hearing a question here. Fascinating as your theories are, I've got better things to do than ponce around in this carsy today.
It's called a motive, Mr. Metcalfe. But what's really damning is the last thing DS Appleton recorded was a voice note detailing being sat in a pub.
I've never been to no boozer or no Cambridge Heath.
With your mate next door. On the recording, you can clearly hear friend Liam asking him to play a game of pool with you two.
Oi, mate, do you want a game?
Me?
No, the wall behind you. Course you. Winner plays on.
I guess, okay.
Got a quid? For the machine?
Yeah.
I call that an opportunity.
So we played pool with a geezer once. Don't mean to say we know how else.
DS Mark Appleton never made another recording again. And as a matter of fact, was never seen or heard of after that. I think he was murdered that night, or very soon after. It wouldn't have been too difficult to get from there to the Bowlocks late at night either.
Well, this is a load of bowlocks, if you ask me.
Either you killed him first and took his body there, or, I think more likely, you lured him and then killed him there. Easier to dispose of the body that way. Why didn't you dump the body the other side of the locks, where the tide would have taken him out into the estuary?
We didn't. We didn't.
That just leaves us with means. As DS Appleton's skull was fatally crushed by a common or garden blunt instrument, a hammer, I doubt we'll ever find the one you used. That you probably did get rid of properly.
No idea what object you're talking about.
See, DC March, the thing I really don't understand is why they didn't get shot off the phone. Why keep it?
Stupidity, Mom.
Well, could be. Not on the part of Andy here, though. He's been down the road enough to know it would surface eventually.
Nice choice of word, Gov.
Oh, thank you. I thought so. I think our friend Liam hung on to it as a trophy. But Andy here found out and he got rid of it as quick as he could, and without thinking.
Keep guessing, you got nothing on me. Or Liam.
Oh, on the contrary. I think you're starting to shape up very nicely, Mr. Metcalf. Interview suspended 902 hours. DCI McHugh and DC March leaving the room. Problem is, he's right. We have got nothing. We don't even know for certain why Appleton was following them. There's nothing in either of their records to suggest a heavy-duty obbo was called for.
It's got to go back to Doolan. I know it's not what you want to hear, Gov, but Appleton and Doolan went to Hendon together, started at the same station, families stayed close until the allegations against DS Doolan blew up. Why else would an experienced detective risk everything on a bit of private enterprise? It's like you always say to us, when it's over, it's done. Bury the dead and move on. Unless it was a last act of friendship.
Why would Metcalf and Cochrane murder a CID officer who was about to stand trial anyway? Well, their form's all wrong for one thing, and there's no connection to the victim I can find. And Doolan was $1 million to go down for it, so why bother topping him? And if they didn't, why top Appleton?
I don't know, Gov, but he heard or saw something somewhere. I'll bet my overtime. They wanted him silenced, made safe.
Well, he's safe as houses now. All right, let me go and have a crack at Cochrane. I think he's going to be the easier of them to break down in interview. Where are we up to, DC Hendry?
Liam and I were just having a little chat about the mandatory tariff for murder these days.
Oh, good. I'm pleased to hear you're getting along already.
I was just letting Liam know that his friend next door would be busy being very helpful about now. First to confess, first to make parole. But Liam thinks he's smart. And he doesn't believe me.
Oh, doesn't he? Well, Liam isn't smart. Mr. Metcalf, on the other hand, he's very smart. And is cooperating. All those years in and out the shovel have taught him a thing or two. And he can't take any more porridge. He just can't swallow it, you see. See, Mr. Metcalf remembers everything about prison. 23 hours a day in his 6x8. The smell of sweat. And shit. And boiling veg. Oh, and bleach. He remembers how it gets in your bones. How your skin starts to reek of it. And no matter how much you try and wash it off on the outside, it never ever goes away. And you know what? He doesn't want to go back. Any more porridge and he'll choke. The sweet air just won't be able to get into his lungs. Oh, he'll die. Of course he's talking. I've got means, motive, and opportunity. MMO. Those 3 letters are mighty small, but they're what I need to bang you up for a long time, Liam. And how do you think you'll fare? Pretty, young, corn-fed boy in his prime, in a cell with a con who hasn't had any for a long time. Oh, you're going to be so popular, Liam.
How about it, son?
All right.
All right.
Save it for the tape. Interview with Liam Cochrane, recommencing 0930 hours. Present in the room are the suspect, DC Hendry, and DCI McHugh. Go on.
We did know about that copper. It went down to Andy, though. Our boss put us wise.
And the night of Thursday, 22nd of December last, what happened?
No idea.
You were in the bar of the Victory, Viner Street, with Mr. Metcalf and DS Appleton. You invited him for a game of pool. What happened next?
I don't remember. Nothing. Honest.
Are you though, Liam? We've got the CCTV from the pub, haven't we, DC Hendry?
Yes, Ma'am.
Yes, Ma'am. So we know. We know what you did. You befriended Mark Appleton, who you knew to be a policeman, lured him into a false and, well, probably drunken sense of security, and then you and Metcalf killed him, Liam. It must have taken some guts to kill a police officer. Especially knowing the court will throw the book at you. No pleading to the chocolates about an abusive upbringing will get you off that sentence.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
What's going on in here? Liam, don't say another word.
And you are?
Tamara Markson. Partner, Markson Collins Rudd, Lamb's Conduit, WC1. I'm here to represent Mr. Metcalf and Mr. Cochrane. It seems Mr. Cochrane here is most in need of my help. So I'll start with him.
He told us he didn't want a brief.
He didn't call me. His employer did.
Who is?
And might I ask what business that is of yours? You are...
Detective Chief Inspector McHugh.
I need to confer with my client in private. In the meantime, I strongly suggest you either offer charges or release my client. If you do intend to charge him, please bring all the pertinent evidence you have, and we'll review it. I'm confident my client and I will be able to satisfy any of your questions with reasonable explanations. But if, as I suspect, you have nothing but circumstantial hearsay, I recommend you release my client before I take that pathetic charade I just witnessed to the IOPC.
Interview suspended. DC McHugh and DC Hendry leaving the room.
That was a bit strong, Gov.
Oh, I know, but we have nothing. And he seemed to be about the last person on Earth who doesn't know it.
And what was that about the pub CCTV? You know the landlady said the camera's only a box on the wall for show.
Oh, I know. I refer you to my previous answer, my lord. Oh, let's give them time to confer. Get Metcalf charged with assault and resisting, and take him back to the cells to stew.
Yes, Gov.
Oh, bollocks. I missed that team meeting again. Oh, how am I supposed to charge any criminals if I keep having to sit through departmental meetings about CID printer overuse? Oh, you're a senior officer now, Lizzie. Your coat is on a shoogly peg. Bollocks to it all. Well, let's find out who you are, Ms. Tamara Markson. How did a ten-a-penny tea leaf like Liam Cochrane get a Chancery Lane brief?
I hear Markson stopped you mid-flow earlier.
Good news travels fast, then.
I'll tell you something I'm surprised to see her defending.
What do you mean?
Well, she's a barrister. Tipped to make silk any day, that one. And she normally appears for the Crown, and only in high-profile, high-paying ones. She even got a conviction for the DCI at my old station.
Well, why the hell is she doing solicitor's work, then? And for someone like Cochrane, he's potless. I suppose I should go back downstairs and see if I can put a crease in Miss Markson's perfectly made-up brow.
What do you mean, Gov? They've gone.
What do you mean, they've gone?
Metcalf and Cochrane were both released an hour ago. Super's orders.
What about Metcalf's assault charge? On you?
Didn't stick. Brennan was down there shouting she wanted them out of here.
What the hell is going on today?
Yes, I'd like to know that too. Why did you have two suspects sitting downstairs not being interviewed? And why have I had a call from the CPS solicitors about the use of oppressive interview techniques at the station?
Not oppressive, Ma'am. Just reminding Liam Cochrane of what's at stake. He's not been up on one before, so I thought I might have a better chance at shaking the truth from him than an old hand like Metcalfe. And why did you release them, Mom?
Because that lawyer downstairs was screaming like a banshee about a formal complaint against you if I didn't. I could see nothing to hold them on either, Lizzie.
But she must have to put a call into someone at the CPS at the very least. Why does a petty villain like Liam Cochrane get the proverbial red carpet rolled out for him? Is someone at the CPS covering their tracks from a prior screw-up?
Oh, woman, don't you go causing any more trouble there.
Don't worry, I won't, Mom.
And where are you going now?
Home. I need to think.
Aye. I'll see you tomorrow then. And don't be arresting anyone else without talking to me first.
All right, Mom. Sean, hang about. Meet me in the Blue Post in 10 minutes.
All right, you're on.
You've reached Jamie North at the Garden Gate Theatre. Please leave me a message and I'll return your call when I can. Thanks.
Jamie, love, it's Dad. Thanks for your text. I'm sending a driver for you and your things. It'll be someone new. Unfortunately, Mr. Cochrane is no longer working for us. The new driver will be outside the door on Hammond Street at 4. Bye, love. Pint of ales and a large G&T, please, love. Ta. Here you go.
Ta, Sean.
Oh, much as I like going for a drink while on duty, what's so secret we couldn't talk about it at the office?
Well, while you were busy releasing my prime suspects, I was doing some research of my own. On our friends Metcalfe and Cochrane.
More stuff from Appleton's voice notes?
No, not this time. Metcalfe and Cochrane's own records. Criminal records.
Yeah, hang on, I thought Cochrane didn't have any form.
He doesn't, but it's not for want of charges. You know, something has felt wrong about this case all the way through. And I've had the feeling someone much higher up the food chain than Metcalfe and Cochrane is pulling strings behind the scenes. I just couldn't square Metcalfe's half a dozen convictions and Cochrane's arrest record with either or both of them committing 2, maybe 3 murders. People don't just step up a division in one leap like that.
So you do think the Doolan and Appleton murders are connected? Who's the third?
Simon Deacon, known to one and all as Sime the Slime Deeks.
And he is?
The reason I went to see DS Asimwe at Kentish Town. He slipped his mortal leash on June the 28th. Kentish Town had him down as a lone, unexplained death, but in our chronology, he fits perfectly at the end.
Right, on that basis, Doolan was the first.
Yes, exactly. You know, we've been looking at the whole thing the wrong way round. Doolan was first, last autumn, followed by Appleton last Christmas, because he must have got too close to whoever's pulling the strings on Metcalfe and Cochrane.
And your Simon Deacon?
I think my Simon Deacon, as you put it, was certainly involved in the Appleton murder. If not the Doolan job as well. Maybe not as the gunman who shot Doolan, I admit that's a bit of a stretch with his form, but certainly in the operation to make it happen.
But why kill him?
Deeks. For a mistake he made.
Mistake? But how do we know he made a mistake?
Whoever is planning all this has been fiendishly clever. We'd never have found any link, or even Appleton's body, if Metcalfe, Cochrane and Deacon had been able to follow their relatively simple instructions. The locks were chosen carefully, not just a spur-of-the-moment dump site because they're a few miles' drive from the Victory. One side of the weir, where Appleton's body floated, is the River Lee, which since the London Olympics is no longer tidal. The other side is the Bow Creek, which is very much tidal and goes into the Thames. Had things gone to plan, Mark Appleton's body should have been dropped on the other side of the weir and carried far away by the tide, never to be seen again. That was Deke's mistake.
So Simon Deacon was killed just for dropping the bag the wrong side of the lock? I almost feel sorry for him.
Well, that was our mastermind's first piece of bad luck. The second was the cock-up with Appleton's phone. I'm certain Mastermind told Metcalfe and Cochrane to get rid of it, so it would never ever see the light of day again. Either because of greed or for another reason, one of them, probably Cochrane, hung on to it. Our mastermind is utterly ruthless. That's how he's prevailed for so long without so much as a ripple being noticed.
That does make sort of sense. Thing I don't get, Gov, is how did you connect Simon Deacon into all this?
It was something Jamie North said. I didn't notice it at the time.
Oh yeah, Jamie North, the posh sort from the theatre.
Yeah. She mentioned Simon Deacon when we interviewed her. Remember? He introduced her star turn and convicted murderer Tony Mulvaney to DS Mark Appleton.
I see. Have you briefed the rest of the team?
Not yet.
Well, why not? I mean, this is hardly so top secret we couldn't discuss it at the office. And anyway, we need to start looking for this mastermind. ASAP.
Because I already have a good idea who it is.
What? Who?
After you told me you'd released Metcalfe and Cochrane, I did some background on our lawyer friend, Tamara Markson. You're right, she has worked for the CPS. A lot. One name kept cropping up in connection with the cases she's worked. Who is it kept hiring her to prosecute the high-profile cases? I looked in Cochrane, Metcalfe and Deacon's records too. DS Asimwe told me that Simon Deacon was a regular visitor to Kentish Town Nick, but they suddenly stopped being able to make anything stick. They'd offer up the charges, and the CPS would chuck them. They were all different case officers, but a couple of line managers away, we came back to the same name time and time again.
Who?
Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor, Lawrence Callister.
Holy shit.
Now you see why we had to discuss it here.
Yeah, I do. Can you prove it?
Not yet. I've had AC Dixon get a phone tap authorised by the Home Office for Metcalfe and Cochrane. I need to see where they go and who they meet.
Does Brennan know?
No. Neither does Dixon. Only enough to get him to authorise the phone taps. If Lawrence Callister gets even a whiff we're investigating him, the case will be down the Kazi and we'll all be out of our jobs at the very least. Remember the note on my car? Bloody hell! Tamara Markson walked in as I was breaking down Cochrane. She heard him. He was about to crack. If she's reported back to Callister...
Which, if you've got this the right way round, she will.
Cochrane's going to be our next victim. Simon Deacon was brutally beaten and killed just for dropping a bag the wrong side of a weir.
All right. Listen a minute. If it is Callister, he's got a lot to lose if it all gets brought out into the open, hasn't he? Thing I still don't understand is why. Why risk an high-profile, highly paid legal career to off a few deadbeats he could have sent to prison for the rest of their lives, and at no risk? And why take the chance on killing a police officer who was all but certain to go to prison for a long stretch anyway?
Oh, I don't know. You'd better get back to the office and get a trace on Cochrane's phone. We need to bring him in for his own safety.
Yeah. And what are you going to do, Gov?
Think. I've got a lot of thinking to do.
This was an Evcol Entertainment Clockwork Digital Studios original production, a part of the On Another Wavelength audio anthology series, featuring the voice talents of Michelle Campbell-Jones, Holly Gillanders, Will Harrison-Wallace, Mitch Howell, Chris Machari, Georgie Montgomery, Helen Stirling-Lane, and Mark Stewart. Written by Richard Bates. Directed and produced by Simon James Collier. Series created and co-produced by Adam Dechanel. Soundscape design by Zachary Elliott-Hatton.